Okay, your Bellwork is on the board. You have to turn the following into percents, decimals, or fractions. So if you're given a decimal, turn it into a percent and a fraction. If you're given a fraction, turn it into a percent and a decimal. And if you're given a percent, turn it into a decimal and a fraction. Okay, so for number 1, we have 35 hundredths. To write this as a fraction, look at your place value. It's in the hundredths place, so you can write 35 over 100. But if you notice, this can be simplified if we divide both sides by what number? 5. And we get 7/20ths. And when you have a decimal, how can we change that to a percent?
Move the decimal over 2.
We're going to move the decimal over 2 to the right, and we get 35%. When you are given a fraction to come up with your decimal, you are going to divide, and 5 divided by 8 gives us what? 0.625. And then to change that to a percent, we're going to move our decimal 2 to the right, and our percent is 62.5%. And our last example, we are given 64%. We can move our decimal place 2 to the left to get our decimal, and we have 0.64 or 64 hundredths. And percents are always out of what number? 100. So as a fraction, it's 64 over 100. And what can we divide both of those by to simplify? 4. 64 divided by 4 is 16. 100 divided by 4 is 25. So there's our simplified fraction. Okay, today's lesson is on percents, and your target for today is that you will be able to solve percent problems. Okay, a percent is a ratio whose denominator is 100. Percents are always out of 100. 4% would be equivalent to 4 over 100 and 4 hundredths. We know that we could simplify 4 over 100 by dividing both sides by 4, and we would get 1/25. Okay, for the percent equation, your percent equation is A equals P times W. So for the percent equation, we have A equals P times W. A is your part, P is your percent written as a decimal, and you're multiplying by W, which is your whole. When you see the word what, think of your variable or x. When you see is, that's going to be your equal sign. Is means equals. Of means multiply. And percent is your percent, and you want to write that as a decimal. Okay, so for the first question, we are finding the part. What is 25% of 12? What we know is our variable. Is means equals. Our percent we want to write as a decimal. And how do we write 25% as a decimal? 0.25. Of means that we are multiplying, and we're multiplying by 12. When you multiply these two values together, what do we get?
3.
So we know that 3 is 25% of 12. Okay, for the second one, we are finding the percent. We have 9.5 is, remember your is your equals. What percent? We're not sure what percent, so we're going to put a variable, and we're multiplying by 25. So this is x times 25. To get x by itself, you have to divide both sides by 25. And what is 9.5 divided by 25? 0.38 or 38 hundredths. And we have this written as a decimal, so we want to change it back to a percent. Move your decimal place 2 to the right, and you get 38%. So 9.5 is 38% of 25. And our last question is finding the whole. 39 is 52% of what number? So we have 39, we know is our equal sign. 52% written as a decimal would be 0.52, and we're multiplying by x, we're unsure. So we want to divide both sides by what number? 0.52. And we get that x equals 39 divided by 0.52 is 75. Okay, so go ahead and try the 5 on your own problems.